Let me read you the resume of a fighter. This guy is the undisputed champion in his weight class. He has not lost in a decade in a sport where everybody loses. And the one time that he did lose, it was because of a disqualification. He is regarded by many as the greatest to ever do what he does. Who am I talking about? Jon Jones, of course. And yet every time we talk about Jon Jones now, or every time Jon Jones is trending on Twitter, or he's in the news, it's for all the wrong reasons and generally has nothing to do with fighting. And the latest is no different, according to reports. And I said to Kevin Iole, I'm not going to get into everything that has been alleged, but I will right now. According to reports, Jones is facing a battery charge stemming from an alleged incident in April in New Mexico. I'd love to say that I'm surprised, but I'm not. Although it is a little surprising that his spokesperson told KRQE in Albuquerque that he didn't know about the charge until the TV station mentioned it. That is a little bit odd. Apparently, there was a bench warrant issued for his arrest after he alleged to have gone to a strip club in April. KQRE reports a waitress told police that, quote, Jones slapped her inappropriately, pulled her down to his lap, kissed her neck while she was at work. The waitress told police he also placed her in a chokehold, picked her up off the ground. When she told him to stop, he allegedly kept touching her until he decided to leave, end quote. On Sunday, he went to Metro Court. He paid a $300 cash bond. His spokesperson gave KQRE the following statement, quote, today the media told Mr. Jones about a false accusation launched against him and that paperwork had been sent to an incorrect address. However, after receiving the documents from the press, Mr. Jones immediately went to pay the small fee, and he and multiple witnesses stand ready to factually refute the malicious lies being told about him to the public, end quote. And then in response to a tweet about being in trouble again, Jones tweeted back, quote, I'm definitely not in any trouble, my friend. Don't be so quick to believe everything you read on the internet. He then chased that with, quote, I know there's a whole bunch of people hoping for my downfall, but there's even more who are proud of me and love me or love seeing me do well. And screw staying inside. I love this community. Excited to keep climbing. Haters going to be mad when I win December. Hey, nobody's saying you should stay inside, John. Just maybe don't go to a strip club. Or you know what? Better yet, stay inside. Like, we've reached this weird point in the career of Jon Jones. Like, there was a time, it's kind of hard to imagine, it's hard to fathom, but there really was a time when he first burst onto the scene that it was so different. He was so different. This guy was pure electricity inside and outside the cage. This was the guy who Uriah Faber glossed the Michael Jordan of MMA. He was the kind of guy who was going to meditate before a fight, but then saw a robbery in process. He ran down the robber. He restrained him until the cops came. Then he won a title that night. That was like a real thing. That happened. At that time, there was so much talk about Jon Jones. In fact, at that time, there was no such a thing as too much Jon Jones. This guy had so much it. He was amazing. He had the potential to not just be the biggest name in MMA, but the biggest name in all of sports. Do you remember that? I do. I remember thinking it. I remember saying it. I remember believing it at the time. But then again, I am the one who's constantly saying, we don't really know any of these guys. And we really don't know Jon Jones. Look at what he's done since then. If there's a way to wreck a reputation, he's found it. Criminal behavior, check. Recreational drug use, check. PEDs, check. And now another allegation, this time in a strip club. Again, I don't know what he did or what he didn't do in April. The whole situation does seem pretty weird and pretty strange. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions because I don't know. I wasn't there. And in the eyes of the law, he's innocent until proven guilty. But it's not like this particular guy deserves the benefit of the doubt. Not with his rap sheet, not with his track record. Jon Jones right now is at a point where if his name is trending or if he's in a headline, people will jump to conclusions. And they're not the conclusions that he would want people to have. And not just people like me. Fellow UFC fighter Corey Anderson didn't wait very long. He jumped right in. He tweeted, quote, so last week It was his past, like he was a changed man. This morning, we see he's still the same old can't get right. From pregnant women to strippers. At Johnny Bones deserves a Grammy for his acting skills because he's selling the media that changed man role like Denzel. Hashtag UFC. Hashtag phony. Hashtag awesome tweet. Give him a Grammy for his acting skills is a great line. Here's the bottom line, though. Jon Jones is arguably the greatest to ever step in a cage. But when there's a headline involving him, it should be exciting, not cringy. But that's where he is right now. And he's got nobody to blame for that but himself. And instead of being the best to ever do it, he's just a bad actor now.